that mean it's muted?
It means we're live.
Oh.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the CFL Podcast. Episode number 8.
Your eyebrows should be like this when you say that.
Episode number 8. And we're live. Good evening, folks, and welcome to tonight's show. Thank you for joining us. Anyways, we are back to answer your questions, your CrossFit questions. It's been 3 episodes and I still can't even say that right. Anyhow, Grace and I are here, your humble co-respondents for today's show. Is correspondent the right word for that?
I don't know.
Your humble hosts. My
I'm not humble.
Hosts. Wow. Okay, let's start. Go ahead. Your questions. Grace will eventually ask them. Sometime.
So,
she has it on things so I can read them that are to come, which always throws us off a little bit, but that's okay.
when you're putting your workouts into WOD together, and it always dings you and says, please select a level, RX, RX minus 1. What is the difference? What is RX minus 1? What is RX minus 2? Minus 3? What are they?
Okay, so I know that question personally because it was asked me at the gym. That comes from Ashish. Thank you for asking about the WOD together logins, I guess. Okay, so RX, for those of you guys that are new to CrossFit, when you see the little numbers next to on wall balls, as a good example, say 20/14, that's indicating the prescribed weight for the workout. Sometimes you'll see it next to a barbell weight where it'll say 95, 65. The first number indicates the men's weight. The dash in the second number indicates the women's weight. And just like we talked about earlier, prescribing the weight is how we hold the stimulus. Ashish is asking about how you log it in specifically to our tracking system here. And basically, you have RX, which means you did it as it's written. You have RX minus 1, which means you scaled 1 or 2 of the things. So if it was a triplet and I had a 400-meter run, 15 thrusters at 95 pounds, and then 15 toes to bar, which we never do here at CrossFit.
Whoa. 15
toes to bar. Then let's say I scaled the run to a 200 meter. I scaled my thruster weight down to just the bar, and then I did knees to elbow. That would be RX minus 3 because you scaled all 3 of them. For your purposes in logging it, I tell everybody if you did it RX, say RX. If you didn't do something RX, just hit minus 1, and then in the comments, just write what you scaled. It's just easier that way, and it's only for your personal record anyways. So that's the difference. Each time you scale something, it would be a further on the minus, but just do minus 1 and write it in the comments.
That's because if we do a workout again, if we do the same workout, doesn't it show up again?
Yeah, good point. So that's one of, did we talk about last time the different metrics of measuring, success? Was that on the podcast or was that your email to the nutrition people?
That's my email.
Yeah, so there's different metrics of success, right? So, let's say you did Fran, and you scaled it. I think that was the same example you used, right?
Yeah.
And then you scaled it, but then I got 7 minutes. The next time I did it, I got 7:05, but I used the prescribed weight. I did pull-ups without a band or no jumping pull-ups. So even though your time actually got worse, the metrics for that, because we're using different multiple measurements of success, your weight went up, you did the actual pull-ups. So even though your time was slower, you in turn got better and were fitter.
Yes.
So that's
good to put it in the comments because if we do a workout again, you'd be like, what did I do? What did I change? But then you can be like, oh, I did jumping pull-ups. And the next time when you do regular pull-ups, you'd be like, man, I'm getting good.
Man, I'm getting good. Okay. All right. Okay, awesome. So Ashish, I answered your question.
Okay, this comes from Kenny. Is there more benefit to rolling out before or after a workout if you had to only pick one?
Well, thanks, Kenneth, for your question. Yeah, I think, what is...
Oh, thanks, Kenneth.
All right. What is beneficial? There's always, one episode that we can't get rid of, okay, simmer down.
The amount of times that you say, all right, we should keep a count.
Or we should just make a loop where it's just multiple cuts of me just saying that throughout.
I'm just going to keep a count.
Okay, so back to the questions, and we're back.
All right.
And we're back. So, Kenny, what you should be doing is recovering after the workout with your foam roller and your lacrosse ball, getting in some good time on that with the soft tissue work the night before. If you do enough the night before or after your workout, I guess would be the question, then normally when you come into the workout, there's not a lot we have to do. We just do maybe some active or static stretching just to lengthen the muscle or get some more blood flow before. But if you're spending a ton of time on the foam roller before That's not recovery, that's WOD prep, and really you're looking for a good recovery, which means you should spend it afterwards. I believe the question was if you had to choose one.
Yeah, you only get to choose one because you don't have that much time in the world.
All right, so I guess if there was a gun to my head, obviously afterwards, because when you show up to the class, we're going to take you through that general warm-up to get everything primed. You should focus on your recovery afterwards on the foam roller, on the lacrosse ball. Make your money there because you know you're going to get the 10 minutes before the class with the group anyways.
Just making money.
Okay, next question.
What's your reasoning and purpose to determine the amounts of like sets and reps you do during the strength portion of the workout?
Okay, great. So
also from Kenneth.
Yeah, he's really hogging the show today. Okay, so for the sets and the reps, I think there was also asking about building to a heavy single or heavy double.
That's next. You don't get to go there yet.
Okay. Okay.
Just how do you determine
me
if we're
personally
doing,
in the workouts?
Well, what's the difference between doing like a 5x5, a 3x3, a heavy one? What's the difference there?
Okay, so the difference would be your sets, right? If you're doing 5 sets of 5 repetitions, that's going to be increasing the volume, and that's really pretty much what you're doing right there. Is like the more sets we have, obviously the higher the volume, right? And then depending on the other number, the repetitions depends on the purpose of the goal. So if it's like 5x5, you're obviously going to be doing that between like maybe 70 and 80%, maybe a little bit higher than 80% if you're used to the volume. But that's just accruing a ton of volume. 5x5 is just accruing the volume. Now if I'm doing 5 sets of 3 reps, obviously the weight is going to go higher because the reps went lower. And then the volume decreases overall. So that's basically what the reps and sets does, is it controls weight versus like volume.
All right.
Does that make sense? I think that
it does.
Enough.
It does. And then we're not always chasing only the 1 rep max, right? Like sometimes we're just doing things to build strength overall, because if we came in every day and tested our 1 rep max, that would kind of be useless.
Yeah, hold on. Are we like crossing wires though? Because that was a general acid. Now you're going back to specific about the programming.
You know what? Let's just go to the next question. All right. All right.
You can't go from like generalized to specific about my programming.
I can.
Okay.
Kenneth, again, says...
For a third time.
When he notices that when his build-up isn't proper, the high numbers are hard to hit. So what's a good rep scheme when it says like build up to a heavy single or a heavy double, what's a good rep scheme to get up to that?
For the day, assuming you're just trying to build to find one for that day, I would warm myself up with lighter weights with like 5s, and then once I got to like my 80% of the 1 rep, or if you didn't have a 80%, once it started to feel heavy, I would drop my reps to the specific rep you're trying to hit. So if it's heavy double, as soon as I got to like 60%, or as soon as it started to feel a little heavy, I'd immediately go to just 2 reps and start making bigger jumps to weight.
But before that, you could do like 5 reps, you think?
Before, as in on the same day?
Yeah, when you're trying to get warm. Before you're at the 60%.
When you're warming up, you just do, I don't know, the barbell sets of 5 until it feels heavy, and then you go to the specific reps. I feel like I just said that.
I'm just wondering how many.
There's no specific amount. It just depends on like how experienced you are with the barbell, right? Like if I know I could squat 400 pounds, all right?
Okay.
Like let's say, okay, we'll use Albert as an example. Let's say Albert's warming up, okay?
5 million pounds.
Yeah, so like a heavy back squat to him, which is really heavier than most of us. He's going to take a little bit longer. He'll probably spend a lot of repetitions with an empty barbell, with just getting the hips prepared with it, with some moderate weight. And then when he was going to move to that heavy single, he would just do 1 rep and the jumps would become bigger.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that answer it? Okay.
Yeah, so you're like just super good and warm until it starts getting something heavy, and then you go back down to
because imagine if I did sets of 5, and then again if we're bringing it back to the volume, I did 5 sets of 5 trying to build up. You've accrued 25 reps at moderate weight. The volume's done. You're starting to shut down. Yeah, your strength's going to go down. Yeah. And then if you're trying to build like overall, if you're like, okay, get me a bigger 1 rep max back squat, first of all, I would have to ask, why do you want the 1 rep max back squat? It's only 1 rep. That's more like I want the number for like, so I could go around and like brag about it.
Post it on social media.
Kenny doesn't really post on social media, but like,
I don't mean Kenny.
But yeah, so then like, let's say you were trying to say like, okay, I just want to become stronger. I would say the 1 rep max isn't that great of an indicator of strength, right? You would rather have a really heavy set of 5. So if I started my strength cycle and I had 100 pounds as my 1 rep max, but then I went through 8 weeks of, let's say, conjugate method or something like that where I'm doing a volume and accruing it, then if my 5 rep becomes my 1 rep, I've gotten a lot
Way
stronger.
stronger.
Right, and then eventually your 1 rep would go up. But if you're trying to build overall strength, stick to your 5s and your 3s because that'll start to build more.
Okay.
More strength. Yeah.
Those are all the questions that I have for you today.
Yeah, I could piggyback off that. I dug a little bit, Kenny, into your question about like the origins of like sets and reps, and a lot of it came from like the earliest documentation of it, at least as far as for us in like the U.S., came in like the early 50s to late 40s. One of the first, damn, I just looked it up and now I forgot. I think it was called progression resistance exercise. That was the one of the first kind of documented things. That was in 1951, and that is essentially the start of like exercise science, where they started to document sets versus reps and then actually follow that to see which did which. Yeah, right. So then you have two different things you do. You go for muscle strength, right, which is like a more denser, stronger muscle, which is going to be your 5s, your 3s, and your 1s. And then you could go for hypertrophy, right? Hypertrophy, right? It's also pronounced as some people say hypertrophy. It's hypertrophy is the actual way you say it. It essentially just means you're going to grow your muscle. So if I wanted to get to like bodybuilding, wanted my biceps to be bigger, I would go in ranges of, again with the flex on camera, that's the second time. I would go with ranges of...
Just want them to know.
8. I would go with reps ranging between 8, 10, and 12 if you're going to build mass. If you're going to build strength, you'll stay with lower sets, 5s, 3s, and 1s with a heavier number to it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay.
I like those. So moving on from your questions. Now I have some that I will answer.
Oh, okay. All right.
Kenneth, again, asked...
That joke is, like, played now.
I'm just saying his name.
Like...
I'm just saying the man's name.
Okay.
We had a certain member ask, does the water that goes into the protein shakes count towards your water goal? So in the nutrition challenge, one of the things they have to do to collect points every single day, they're supposed to be drinking 70 ounces of water. A lot of people have been having a super hard time with that. Some people have had no problem at all.
It is hard to get in that much if you're not used to it.
If you're not used to it, and I think it's really hard when it's cold out too, because it's just like not something that's your go-to.
Right.
What we're actually supposed to have every single day is to aim for half of our body weight in pounds in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water a day. But because so many people aren't even like relatively close to that, we just said 70 for every single person in the challenge. So some of those guys, you might want to be...
One size fits all.
One size fits all. It's, getting us there, right? And then we were talking about just water. But like this question, there's water in a lot of stuff that you don't realize. So yes, the water that you're putting into your protein shakes can absolutely count for it. We don't want the water in your coffee. We don't want that to count. Water that has any caffeine in it. Water from juices, even though you're not supposed to be drinking them. But water that goes into tea. Water that has anything like lemon or anything into it. And yeah, water that goes into your protein shakes. And all the water you drink when you're working out too. Those all count. But yeah, that's all that one.
Wait, are you gonna do your shout outs now?
Well, yeah, I want to say the most exciting thing, which we haven't got to yet. We have...
Go ahead.
Okay,
Sure.
Well, I'll let you say the number, because that's cool.
Okay, cool.
We are now in our... Ended our 5th week. Dang!
So 3 more weeks left.
3 more weeks left.
Hang in there, people.
So, when we got to the 4-week, the midway point of the challenge, we had everyone re-weigh in. We didn't get their measurements. We'll have cool, like, inches and stuff for you at the end.
Cold hand. It's freezing inside here, sorry.
It's so cold. We have a heater, I have a blanket.
I have no pants. Just kidding, I have pants. Just kidding. It's like the news desk, like it's just a sweatshirt. I got pants. Keep going, come on. We're on week 3, headed to week 3.
Come on.
We're on week 3.
No, we're on week 5.
We're on week 5.
He's wearing pants.
It's funny because there's just 2 of us sitting in a room talking to a camera, but yeah, like we have a good time. Okay, so how much weight totally has the group lost? I know you said I could say the number. Why don't you say the number?
Okay, 247 pounds.
247 pounds collectively.
Yeah.
You guys have lost. When'd you take that weight? Was that last week you took that weight?
Yeah, we give them from like Friday, hopefully to Sunday to weigh in.
But so more time has passed since you got that.
Yeah, and we've already heard, like, I've heard a couple people, someone mentioned they're down 1.5 pounds, someone else is down 6 pounds from that. I think his weigh-in was a little off, but...
So it's safe to say that 4 weeks into the challenge, CFL Nutrition Group people have collectively lost 247 pounds.
Yeah.
Guys, that is fantastic.
And that's, like, I think about 46 people or 45 people or something like that.
Yeah.
So not even that many putting into that. So that's insane.
Yeah. It's not like there was 247 people that are in the challenge.
Or more.
Yeah, more than people get. So anyways, that is phenomenal. That's what it is about, guys. It's about just staying accountable to each other, see this to the end. The results are clearly already showing for themselves.
And then something else we talked about in that same email, though, that we're talking about the number because it's weight loss, but there's so many other things that people...
So many more metrics to define success with. Nice! Quality TV.
But we were saying the people that are noting, like, their mental clarity, their energy, people that are drinking significantly less caffeine, their sleeping is better, their workouts are better, their recovery is better.
Stimulants and my sleeping is better.
Yeah, that too. Just like overall, so many positive things that they have, other than just the weight loss. But that's also like a giant number of weight loss, so that's cool too.
Yeah, I mean, the weight loss is obviously awesome, but like I said, like, keep focused on like all those other variables, because so many people get like so narrow-minded, like, oh, the weight on the scale, and it's like, dude, you look way better, like you feel way better, your workouts are way better,
moving better.
So yeah, make sure you guys take all that into consideration. It's easy to look down at the scale and not see some, expectation you have as to what you have lost, and then start to get down on yourself. It's silly. Look at the bigger picture, right? Hey, that actually goes back to our global, local, global things, right? Like, look at the big picture of how everything in your life is starting to line up. Then locally, go in on the weight loss number. Okay, that number is starting to move, even if it's moving slowly. Zoom back out and go, whoa, I look way better, my clothes fit better, my workouts are getting better, my relationships with other people are getting better because I just have more mental clarity, I have more excitement, more energy, right, cool.
So that's been super inspiring to be a part of. Jess and I feel really lucky to be a part of it, but you guys are doing great.
I'm just sidelining it.
That's okay. You're good too.
All right, let's move on here. Are we doing shout-outs now?
Well, we're going to say those people too. We announced this at the Open, and we announced it at the track this morning to the weight loss members have been going to the track and doing workouts, so that's where we announced it too. But everyone should get to hear this because this is cool. At the halfway point, we announced 3 winners that will get extra points for their performance in the gym, something that's changed from the 4 weeks ago to now. And we got first, second, and third place for that, and then we also did first, second, and third place for the most percentage of weight lost, because that's what it's all based off of percentage, because we got some people that are weighing 120, some people that are weighing 220. Obviously different amounts are going to get lost, but we're bringing it back down to percentage, so it's all relative to the people.
And the winners are?
We'll go gym performance first. Third place was Yenna. She comes at 6:30 p.m. She's been doing great. PR'd some 800-meter runs.
Yeah, she's looking good in the workouts, too. That's one of the biggest things I've seen is, like, a lot of people that are in the challenge when they're, like, let's say they're on the 3rd round of a 5th round workout. Yeah. Like, you guys all look way better. Yeah. Like, moving through it.
She ran some of her 800s for the first time without stopping.
Nice. Yeah. Huge accomplishment. So another metric to...
way pushing herself beyond what she thought. She probably could have done that for a while, but now she has the confidence to try and...
Yeah, another metric to measure success with.
Yeah. Okay. The second place for the performance was Lindsay Golly. She's just been kicking butt.
LG! I don't know why I just went with the nickname.
You just got a nickname. She's been kicking butt. I haven't coached her too many times, but this was a collective coach's decision. And Lindsay, people said a lot of good things about you.
Keep up the good work.
Even though I hear her husband Andrew might be jealous of that. He supposedly took her her certificate for second place home today, and Lindsay, I'm hoping he actually gave it to you and didn't just hide it in his truck.
I saw it in the parking lot on the way out. You're not going to receive that.
So weird. He's a little jealous.
Okay, moving on.
Finally, first place was Jackie Coda.
Yay!
She's
Jackie.
so good. She's made huge changes. think she started CrossFit with us back at the old gym.
Yeah, like in the summer, and then she...
That's her daughter, right? Her daughter somewhere in LA said, Mom, like, you have to get into this. It's the coolest thing ever. She just came in one day and was like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, and this nutrition challenge has been great for everybody, but especially, like, with her coming in, and now, like, it's just, like, a habit, right? So, same with everybody else. And her workouts. Like, coming in. Workouts look great. She looks great. Keep up the good work, Jackie. Congrats on your first place.
And then for the weight loss part, so these people get even more points towards their score.
So wait, what was the first piece? Sorry, that was our halfway.
That was our well, they're both halfway, but that was the gym performance.
Oh, that was gym performance.
Yeah, they got first, second, and third for gym performance.
Okay, so Jackie first place, Lindsay second place, Yenna third place for gym performance. Okay, now moving on.
We also gave team spirit points to teams that have they're all in group chats together. Group. That was on purpose. Yeah. Just so you could do that.
Okay.
We're at 5. I thought there was someone there that scared me. Where are we at?
That's awesome. She's getting all warm. I can feel it radiating. Okay, so you were going to talk about the weight loss.
No, I wasn't. We also gave points to the teams who have been the most supportive. We said, like, team spirit-wise. So you guys don't know who's on them, but 3 teams received points for how supportive they've been in group chats. They've showed up in the same tank tops, and the first team, it was cool. They say,
oh, sorry.
And then the first team that signed up, every single person on their team signed up for the Open.
Yeah, which team was that?
That was white, but they named themselves Silver.
Team Silver!
And then second place was the orange team. They've just been really supportive of each other. A lot of awesome talk back and forth, meeting each other for workouts.
Great job, Team Orange.
And then the yellow team, self-proclaimed highlighters. They put some posters up here. There's some cool cats.
Nice. Yeah, they do have the posters in the place.
So then we did the first, second, and third for the weight loss so far.
Okay, so far we've given out, just to recap here, total loss 247 pounds, gym performance, Jackie, Lindsay, Yenna. Team spirit is going to be Team Silver, Team Orange, and Team Highlighter or Yellow. Okay, boom.
And then, so third place for the most percentage of weight loss lost so far was Kayla Ward, not to be confused.
Yep.
She was down
We were at their wedding. That's the funny part about it.
She was down 5.58%.
Congrats, Kayla.
In 4 weeks.
Kicking butt.
And then Angie Banks, she was down 6.03 pounds in 4 weeks.
Way to go, Angie.
Awesome.
Looking good.
Finally was Debbie Bishop, as to not be confused with her old last name. She was down a whopping 8.21%.
What? Get after it, Debbie.
She's killing it, guys. Killing it.
So, and that's just the small list of it. You guys have, like, everybody's just been destroying it.
We had to, like, really pick and narrow them down because there was so many of you guys that could have easily been on that list as well.
Yeah.
Kicking butt and taking names.
Awesome. Seriously, the challenge has been fantastic.
Yeah, it has.
The community in itself, with the 18.1 just finishing on Friday, and with how much you guys have been doing this, like, seriously, like, so thankful, like, from us and how you guys make this place the awesome place it is. Like,
yeah, seriously.
Forever humbled.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's been awesome.
Are we going to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, we just have one.
The plane. That's what they say at the CrossFit podcast. Matt Bishop always says that.
Are you telling me to, like, do you want me to stop?
It was, no, keep going. We're here for you. All of us.
We're super humbled. Thanks for being great, but my co-host here.
No. Come on, what are we doing?
Okay, we have one final person that we're giving a shout out to this week, and it is. Do you want to say it? Reyes.
Oh, Reyes.
I thought you could see right there.
No, I wasn't even.
It's Reyes.
Reyes.
Yeah. He is on Team Red, so he'll be getting some extra points this week. Reyes he's an awesome member to have in the community, like, beyond.
Been with us since the beginning, too, by the way.
Yeah, he signed up, obviously, for the Open yet again.
I think it's his 3rd year?
At least, yeah. He doesn't have hearing, so he took the judges course on his own, is constantly, like, volunteering and putting himself out there, whereas, I just think that's awesome. He's a huge supporter of his team all the time, constantly bringing things up, asking people how their week's going, what are their goals, how have things been, and he is kicking butt on the track. He has no excuses, just goes for it, shows up every time. And I just think his like energy and enthusiasm is inspiring, and we give him some extra points for that.
Great job, Reyes. Truly an awesome part of the community.
Yeah, he really
okay,
is.
So now we're going to land the plane. 25 minutes in. We should probably get this thing done. Okay, so that is everything. As always, guys, keep leaving the comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe, because here's going to be the deal.
That way?
Yeah, I think so, inside the YouTube. Is it like here? Subscribe here.
Subscribe.
Okay, now you just messed it up. Okay, so subscribe to us if you want to keep getting this awesome content. This really high budget, high production show here. But anyway, so keep asking the questions below. Keep asking the questions in the class. I think one thing that would be cool is what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about the open next episode and being like competitive in the open versus like... Thank you, Dr. Dre. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. We're out. You going to say bye?
Bye.
Bye.